welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
I'm Matthew, and this large 7-seater SUV behind me is Kia's flagship Sorento.
That's right, it's the 4th generation Sorento. It's bigger, bolder, smarter, and I reckon so much better looking. Come, let's take a look at this one. Officially launched in 2002, the 1st generation Sorento really did stake its claim as the bold, big 7-seater flagship of the brand. And this, 18 years later, is the evolution, and what an evolution it is. It still keeps with the tiger nose that's coming through here, and also much of this is their rendition of the tiger nose, but it's also just really embracing the new Kia design language, so very, very cool. Plenty of lower air vents coming through here, and also the side air curtains are really good as well. Lots of flow going into the engine, which we'll get to in a minute. Around here, Tiger Eye line DRLs. These are all LEDs and they're cool, and also look at this nice wraparound front for the lights here. Very cool. Around the side, it sits on their next generation or new generation platform, so it is EV ready. But it's also the wheelbase is 35mm longer than ever before, and also overall at 4.8 meters, it's 10 mils longer overall. So there's more substance to the whole thing. The flow itself is, you know, unmistakable. It's really, they've kept with the same flow. Nice big 20-inch feet and some nice alloys there. Rest of the flow coming down here. Of particular interest is the D pillar back here, really elongated and really part of the signature look of the vehicle. Round the rear end, roofline spoiler, so you know, really helps with the flow of the tail end here. These tail lights have been inspired by the Telluride, which is the the American car of the year last year, so you guys already know that. Nice flow down here. The tailgate itself is really funky. All you have to do is stand next to it and look at that. No kicker tailgate, no anything, it just opens up to 187 litres with the seats up, and a massive 2,000 litres when you drop all the seats down. Very cool. Under the bonnet, a 2.2 litre turbo diesel that offers 148 kilowatts and 440 newton meters of torque, so quite hefty. But this car's got one extra trick that's pretty good when you're outside. Let me show you that. It starts off the keyring. You can also move it forward. Or move it back. Seriously, how cool is that? Speaking of things that I'd like to be able to move with the keyring, Matthew's inside. Let's see if we can go and wake him up.
Well, there you go. That's, I guess, pretty cool with the interior of these Kias, is that it gives you a little welcome sound when you're inside. That's the key, obviously. There's no designated space in here to put it, firstly, but there's certainly no shortage of spaces to put it in. Something that's new with this Kia Sorento is just the way the cabin's designed. It's got a very nice upmarket feel to it, if you like. Starting off with the top of the dashboard, you've got soft plastics, and you'd expect nothing less, frankly. All this stuff here in the middle is all covered in a glossy piano black plastic, and it extends all around to here, all down the middle. It's all glossy black, and it's outlined in this very sort of polished aluminium metal, or maybe it's a plastic, but with the way it shines, you can't really tell. There's a nice aluminium panel on the dashboard there, which has a nice peak pattern to it. Maybe to reflect the Mount Vesuvius, because of course this Kia is named after a town in the Bay of Naples that overlooks that mountain. Well, who knows, designers sort of do their own thing, and certainly that's reflected in the air vents here, because you've got standard big ones over here for the driver and passenger, but every single air vent also has a little nook down the bottom which doesn't quite direct towards your feet, but I guess you can have cooled or heated knees if you like. Apart from that, speaking of things that are cooled and heated, you also get cooled and heated seats. The buttons are over here. You get a heated steering wheel, which the button is over here. You also get, you know, a ton of stuff down the middle here. So firstly, you can close this stuff up, open it up, and you have a space for your phone there, which actually has wireless charging. There's 3 USB power outlets there to plug in your phone if you don't have wireless charging. There's 2 cup holders here, even space to kind of put a phone in the middle if you like. Another space over here, another cubby over here, and it's got a massive center armrest bin here and a little organizer as well. It's very practical. Speaking of the practicalities, they removed the gear shifter here, so there's nothing to, I guess, intrude into your space. Now it's a rotary knob, not to be confused with the volume knob, obviously. Another knob on here is this, the drive and terrain modes, inspired by the ones we've seen from Kia's sister brand, obviously, the one that starts with an H. You've got 4 drive modes over here. There's Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Smart. None of which really do anything to the throttle response or the suspension setup. All they do is change the dials in front of you there. On the other side, this is of course a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive SUV, so you have snow, mud, and sand. So certainly there are some off-road capabilities to this car, and the approach and departure angles will back you up on that claim as well. Now this is the Sorento. It's Kia's flagship SUV, so you do get quite a lot of leather in here. The center armrest that I'm leaning on is finished in leather. The seats are finished in leather and they actually feel really nice to sit on. These perforations make it soft and very comfortable for your back and everything, and great sort of leg support there. They are electronically adjustable as well, both driver and passenger, and there are actually 2 buttons over here for the rear passengers to move this seat back and forth. Obviously there's nothing for the driver like that, because you don't want to surprise the driver while he's driving. That's while he or she is driving. Obviously all this stuff is covered in nice leather. Speaking of other things that are in leather, let's take a look at the steering wheel. After you've finished waiting for all the beeps and sounds to finish, you'll be greeted with this nice big central display there, and Kia have done a really good job with making that simple, frankly. It's right in the middle of your steering wheel, so nothing is blocked off by, frankly, this quite large and soft steering. The screen over there, of course, can be customized by moving through the drive modes there. So right now we're in comfort, so everything is purple and very comfortable. And you move into eco, it all goes blue and sort of environmentally friendly, if you like. And then you go into sport mode and everything becomes white and red and very performance oriented. And then smart mode, that goes back to purple, and that sort of senses what mood the driver is in, if you like, and how they want to drive. For times when you want to take manual control as well, there's some nice fairly large paddle shifts behind the steering wheel which move with it as well. The stalks over here, actually both the wiper and indicator stalks, are covered in some more glossy black plastic, and so are all the buttons on the steering wheel. On the left side here you got the audio controls and the cell phone controls. Remember that this car does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay to make phone connectivity that much easier. On the right side here you have the stuff that will control the dashboard, so this button over here that says OK, move it up and down and you can see all the various informations about the car, the tire pressure, your economy. You can even, there's a screen that you can customize what you want to show up there, so there are shortcuts and there is some customizable ability to this car. Obviously the range and the fuel economy is quite important here, and it does show you how much you've got left. Now we're on a full tank right now, and it says that we've got nearly 800 kilometers of range. Well, that's just the magic of a diesel, and certainly you can't really hear that diesel note because the cabin is that well damped in terms of the sound ability. Something else that kind of improves the sound in here is that infotainment system there, which gives you access to the Bose audio system. Something that's really interesting with this Kia and makes complete use of that Bose audio system is that if you turn this on and you go into media there, I'm not sure if you can hear me now, but I'm in the middle of a lively forest. You have several different modes as well for this setup. Bose Center Point, as it's called. You can have calm ocean waves that reflect the Sorento name again. You can have a rainy day, which might actually also reflect a public restroom. Sounds like that certainly. Open air cafe there, lots of dishes clanging, and you've got a warm fireplace. And then lastly, you've got a snowy village. How cool is that? That's the first time I've seen anything like that on a car. Speaking of other things that I've never seen on a car before, well, we'll hop back over to this screen for a moment, because when you flick that left indicator, the screen actually over there shows the camera that's underneath the left side view mirror, and it shows your speed as well. That's a great safety feature, and the same thing happens when you flick to the right, but instead the right side now shows the camera underneath the rear view mirror there. That's a really nice safety feature. Speaking of other things that make you feel safe, let's hop into the middle row and see what life is like over there. As you can see here, there's a ton of space in the rear. I've got plenty of knee room there. This driver's seat is set as far back as it can go and low. Plenty of knee room, plenty of foot room, tons of headroom as well. Obviously there's a big panoramic sunroof here as well. You can have the shade over if you want to feel a little more dark in here, but on a day like today, it's nice to have this open. The practicalities over here, well, that's excellent frankly, because you've got a nice big bottle holder in the door, a designated cup holder up here as well. You do get heated seats for the rear, which are operated on the door. That's really cool. There's a rear sunshade as well over here for people carrying children in the back. Some of the other practicalities, you do get a cargo net here, both behind the driver and passenger seat. And if you notice here, there's actually USB charging ports on the side of the seat. There is also a USB charging port down there, and a 12-volt socket, 2 air conditioning vents as well for your middle passengers, and if you pull the central armrest down, you get 3 cup holders here. I'm very impressed actually. The amount of space back here is immense, and again, it says Bose on the speaker system, so you know the sound around here will be good for when you need to answer that call of nature, or maybe listen to it. Something that's really cool about this Sorento is the way how quickly these rear seats fold down. Now we know that the electronically adjusted ones take about 1,000,000 years to go forward and fold down, but not in this Sorento. Press the button here and, well, I couldn't even start the timer. That's how quickly these things fold down. Once you're in the back here, Kia have firstly given everybody leather seats across the 3 rows, so that's really nice to know they haven't compromised across the back here. You do get plenty of storage cubbies there, cup holder and a little space for your phone. People in the 3rd row also get air vents, which they can control by themselves, and you also get USB charging ports for the people right at the back here. How nice is that? Speaking of niceties, this car drives pretty well, so let's take it for a drive and show you exactly how.
So, 4 generations and 18 years have culminated in this, I don't know, beautiful big machine. I mean, it's a 7-seater, so it is a luxury vehicle, luxury SUV. But realistically, I am so impressed with how much stuff has gone into this vehicle. I mean, you really do want for nothing.
And in that respect, you certainly have to give it up to brands like Kia, which are you know, punching way above their weight in terms of what they offer for the price. The amount of safety features and the comfort features in here is just, you know, it's just great, what they have on offer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is the sort of stuff you'd expect to see in, I don't know, real high-end luxury European vehicles. I mean, the tech is everywhere. The luxury is everywhere. The leather is everywhere. The heating, everything is just really all over the place. And I don't know, it's really impressive. The other thing is the way I feel when I'm driving it. I mean, the cabin's spacious. The feel of the steering wheel's lovely in hand. The visibility is great. All round, there's just a lovely feel about the cabin.
And I've got to say, from the passenger perspective as well, you've got nothing to hold in terms of the steering wheel, but everywhere you press and push, everything is built. The build quality is really solid, actually. You shake things around and nothing moves, and that's something, you know, a real quality step up there from Kia.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel surprised about it, but it really does feel quite epic. Everything seems to work really quickly and be really practical, yet I don't know, luxurious. The heated steering wheel, the heated seats, the ventilated seats, the amount of tech. I mean, you're right, the Bose stereo, having those, I don't know, those little touches that one of them makes me want to have a call of nature. And the screen that shows everywhere, that's, you know, back, forward, everything that's going on. It's very cool, very, very cool.
And it's a good thing, actually, that Kia have given you that option to listen to the sounds of nature through the speakers, because otherwise you can't really hear anything. Everything, the sound dampening and the glass and everything, there's not much road noise that comes through. There's not much, frankly, any noise that comes through in the exterior. It's really quiet in here.
Performance wise, look, the engine's lacking a little bit. It's not as punchy as I would have preferred, but you know, there's quite a lot going on to move in a car, you know, of this size and of this amount that's going on. I mean, it feels like a substantial, heavy vehicle. The other thing that is possibly quite polarizing is this knob for the gear changing. It's, you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to, put it that way. And the other thing I'm finding just odd is the accelerator pedal. It's not really a pedal as such. It's kind of, I don't know, it just feels a bit uneasy under my right foot, but you know, it's all right when you get going.
It's one of those, the pedals sort of finished in aluminium and very much a sporty car pedals, but I'm not sure what it's doing in here, because this car isn't sporty, but Kia don't claim that it's a sporty car. It's meant to be, you know, luxurious big family SUV, and all the finishing and stuff like that certainly reinforces that statement rather than the sportiness.
I agree. Probably need to throw you in the back seats and see how you get on with those.
There are 3 rows of seats here, so let's take it one by one.
So relegating Matthew to the middle seats, or the middle row of seats, what's it like back there?
Can you hear me, Dave?
I think so. I think just about. Actually, I can hear you much better than I was expecting, because there, like you said before, there's not that much road noise.
Absolutely, and I mean the space and comfort at the back here, as you can see, I'm sitting in the middle row, and although I'm a little higher up, there's no transmission tunnel down the bottom here, so I can put my feet in the middle. You can see how much space there is, that you can actually get 3 people across the back here. And if you feel like there's too much light in here, well, you can pull those sunshades up. And of course, talking with the driver is nice and easy. I'm not shouting, and Dave can hear me very well, although I'm not sure that he wants to.
Yeah, if only there was a middle screen that I could just pop up and get rid of him, that would be great. How about we try you right at the back? So I finally relegated Matthew to the baby seats right at the back, but they don't look actually that so baby. What's it like? What's it like back there?
I can hear you very clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes I can.
See, so you don't need any walkie-talkies if you're sitting in the 3rd row over here. it's nice and quiet, and of course very comfortable because the seats are fully leather. I would be lying if I was going to say there's tons of space in here, but I'm a snug fit and I'm a pretty sizable human being, I'd say, but there's still good enough room for my knees. You can still easily get two people in the back here, and these big quarter windows here give quite a bit of light, and you don't feel claustrophobic, which I think is a big problem usually with these last row of seats. Well, all those little millimeters worth of improvements have made massive worlds of difference, in fact, over here.
Yeah, 35 mils on the wheelbase, so you know you've got plenty to play with back there.
Now, if I could, Dave, could you please pull over and let me hop back in the front?
I don't know, I've got the child locks on. You may have to stay here.
I need to answer the call of nature.
Welcome back. So there you have it. 4 generations of Sorento has developed just, I don't know, the pinnacle. You can see why this is such a flagship for Kia brand. It's modern, it's smart, and I love the extra luxury features. It's very, very cool.
And as we've just shown you, it's frankly comfortable from every single one of these 3 rows.
I still prefer you right at the back. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. It's somewhere around here.
And as always, once you're done watching our videos, make sure you keep those eyes on the road.
Top tip.